Okay, so the first card you have your past is the Queen of Wands. Yeah, this is a really, really, really independent card. You know, she's fiercely independent, this Queen. So it's like, no, I'm going my own way. I know what I'm doing. So that's what I'm getting here. It's like, I want to break out. I want to break out. I'm going to make my own choices here. So I think that's how you felt at this time. There's a little bit of a fork in the road here. I'm seeing a crossroads. It feels like you've already made this decision to do something. I don't think it was an easy decision. It might be that it feels like an emotional decision, but it's also something to do with, might be something to do with career. It feels like it's practical and emotional at the same time. And so that's the kind of thing I'm getting here. And so maybe it's that you've made the decision, but you haven't really been able to do the actual practical thing yet, because we're all kind of on this lockdown. So it might be that. Or you might have, but I'm just getting that impression that, right, I'm ready to go. I've made my decision. And I, excuse me, I'm still kind of in this, should I do this? Should I not? Because I'm being forced to kind of wait. So I'm getting that as well. And so with this crossroads, I'll just tell you how I'm seeing this. If you look at this card right down the bottom, just on the left-hand side, there are these golden pyramids. And on the right, there's this kind of boring, grey-looking footpath. So, you know, it's like you had this decision, and it's like, should I stay where I am? Should I stay where I am in this kind of pedestrian road? Or should I move forward into these golden pyramids and do something really, really exciting? So it's like this exciting thing that you knew you had to do, and that I think that's what you've chosen, which I'm really happy to hear about, to see. You knew it was the best way for you. You knew that, but there's still this little bit of fear. It's like exciting but scared, and I can really feel that. It's kind of like, you know, when people go out on stage and act, and they're like, oh, I know this is exciting, but I'm really a little bit scared. And so it's that kind of anticipation. So again, that tells me if there's anticipation, it tells me that maybe you haven't actually made action on this yet. So, yeah, so you're absolutely going to do this. I can see this. You're going to do this, no matter how you're feeling. I can see that this is going to happen for you. But yeah, you've still got this fear. It feels like, oh, maybe this is a little bit risky. It might not be risky, but maybe that's just how you're feeling. I'll just share this trick. If that's how you're feeling, if that's you, if that resonates, I'll just share this little trick that I use on myself sometimes, you know, if I'm going through the same situation. It might help, I don't know, but I'll just share this with you. So just imagine yourself in the future, and just imagine you're in the future, and you've said no to this thing. You've had this opportunity in front of you, and you've decided to say, no, I'm not going to do that. I'll just stay where I am. Think about how you're feeling now when you look back. You know, do you feel like, oh, what if I had have said yes to that? What would my life be like? You know, is it really boring now? Do I regret this? Just think about that. And if you have any kind of regrets, if you have that kind of down feeling like, oh, I missed out, oh no, then you know you're doing the right thing. You know you're doing the right thing, because you're preventing yourself from feeling like that in the future if you'd make this decision. So, you know, so I just wanted to share that with you. Sometimes that helps me. And, you know, sometimes fear, or a lot of the time, you know, that feeling, that fearful feeling, it can be about, you know, adjusting your insides to a new level in life, whatever that is. And if you don't feel those fears, then you can't make that adjustment. I was getting a similar kind of a thing in the Aries reading. They're going through a similar thing, I think. But if that helps you, I really hope it does, because you know, your full potential. It feels like you haven't met your full potential yet. It's out in front of you, and you're way, way, way more than what you're doing right now. You know, you're going to really expand into what you're capable of. So I'm really seeing that. So I really want you to not have any of the, well, everyone has fears, but I want you to really contract the fears and expand the feeling of, yes, I can do this. Yes, I'm going to do that. Just another little thing. Excuse me. Sorry about my throat. So just a little thing before I move on to the next card. I'm just seeing a list. I'm seeing some kind of a list. I don't know where it is. Might be on your phone. I don't know. There's a list of things to do. There's something you might not have done. It feels like it might have something to do with communication, communicating with someone. So if you've got a list, even if it's a mental list, think about all the things you're supposed to have done. There's something that's missing. There's something that's missing there. So that's just for someone. Okay, so the next card you have your past is the Five of Swords. Horrible card. Sorry, my throat's really playing up. So yeah, maybe this might be where this fear is coming from, or partly why anyway. Because what I'm getting here, this is a love connection. This is an ex-love connection. And very horrible situation. This is a very manipulative person in this card. You can see this man here. So I think there was a time in your life when you had a bit of a vulnerable time. You know, maybe you were going through some grief or something bad or some horrible problem. And then someone came in to your life, and it's almost like it felt as if they filled a hole inside you. And, you know, I think at that time you were quite vulnerable. I'm getting that again. And you hadn't worked out how to fill that hole yourself. And you're working on that now. You're working on that now. So, but at that time, it's like, oh, this person's come in. They've made me feel really good. They've suddenly made me feel a lot better. And I think that's what they tried to do. I think it's very manipulative. They zoomed in. This is what I'm seeing. Someone zooming in on quite a vulnerable person, saying, oh, I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to fill this hole for you. I'm going to make you feel amazing. And then you felt like, oh, wow. And this all happened really quickly. I think I'm getting this happening really, really quickly. Maybe they were very full on at the start or something like that. And then what happened is, I think, you know, they had you dependent on them emotionally, because they were the only ones that could fill that hole for you. That's how they made you feel. And then I think, you know, that was taken away from you. And of course, when that happened, the hole was even bigger. So that was a very, very sad time in your life. It took you a long time to get over this person. Definitely very manipulative person. They knew what they were doing. If you ever look back and you think, oh, did they know what they were doing? Or was it just I don't know, something was wrong with them, or I don't know. If you wonder about that, they knew what they were doing. They were very, very manipulative. You can just see that by looking at this man here. And, you know, again, the other two men are walking away. I don't know why I said again, but the other two men are walking away on this card. So you're away from this now, obviously. But there's still this little part of you that kind of remembers that, thinks about that. Again, I think that's where some of this fear might be coming from, if that resonates with you. And, you know, the first thing is, it just takes time. It just takes a lot of time to get over things like that. And, you know, I think the reason why you're getting this fear, and it kind of goes back to this time, is I'm getting this, you know, you're kind of thinking, oh, you know, I judged that really badly. I was such a bad judge of character, with this person, that maybe I'm misjudging everything. Maybe I'm wrong about this and that. And so because of that, it's like you're starting to question just about every other thing in your life, because you think, well, I'm questioning my judgment. So, you know, if that's you, if that resonates, just think more on the side of learning from that. Just instead of thinking, oh, I'm such a bad judge of character, I shouldn't have done this, I'm kind of judging myself. Don't judge yourself. Don't judge yourself. Judge them for a start. They're the ones that are manipulative. And think in terms of, I learned a lot from this experience. I learned a lot. If I hadn't have had that experience, I wouldn't know when other people like that are coming in front of me. I wouldn't have learned about myself, you know, lots and lots of things. And also, just the fact that you're making this decision, whatever this is in the Queen of Wands, this big decision, you never would have done that if you're around that person, because I'm getting lots of dependence there. They had you dependent on them, and you would never have done this exciting thing if you were with this person. And now that you're away, you're free to do that now. So there are so many positives that have come out of that. So try and focus more on that than you being a bad judge of character. Because, you know, these kinds of people, these manipulative people, they prey on the vulnerable. So I would never blame yourself or judge yourself for that. Never do that. And just think about how far you've come since then. Okay, so the last card you have your past is the Seven of Wands. Okay, this might have something to do with this list that I was seeing. I don't know, it might not. But it feels like something that's been forgotten. That's kind of what I'm getting. Okay, yeah, I don't want to worry you, but there might be someone who's not all that well. They don't feel very well because I'm getting battling an illness. Now, firstly, I don't like talking about medical things. I hate talking about medical things. It's not for me to talk about things like that, but this is what I'm getting, so I have to talk about this. There's some kind of illness or someone doesn't feel all that well, but it doesn't feel all that bad. I don't want you to worry because it doesn't feel like a serious problem. It just feels like someone's not feeling all that well. And it feels like there's more emotional pain here than physical pain. So it's more like, oh, I'm on my own, I'm battling by myself, no one cares. It might not be that bad, but it's like, oh, I'm by myself. I just want to talk to someone, really. So that's the kind of thing I'm getting from this person. So, I'm not saying you're a horrible person for neglecting someone. It's more like you've forgotten. I'm getting that again. I'm getting, oh, I've forgotten this and that. I should have done this. I should have contacted this person. Whether that's about this list or not, I don't know. I keep on getting that list coming up in my head. So if you know who that might be, just call them. Just say hello. I think that'll really help them. That'll make them feel a lot better. Okay, so the other thing I'm getting here is there might be a couple of people who might be a bit of a downer on this decision that you're making in the Queen of Wands, because I'm getting a few people saying, oh, do you really want to do that? It's a bit risky. Maybe you shouldn't do that. I've got that kind of thing. Now, obviously, if there's someone you trust, if they have genuine concerns, obviously listen to that person. But otherwise, try to keep that out of your mind. Try to keep those doubts out of your mind, because what I'm getting is any of these kind of negativity, doubts, all that kind of thing, it's feeding that fear. It's feeding that, oh, am I judging this wrongly? Am I fearing this? Am I doing the right thing? You don't want to feed that. You don't want to make that bigger and bigger and bigger. You want to decrease that, and you want to increase those feelings of, I know it's scary, but I know I can do this. I know I can go forward. I know I'm capable of this, and I'm capable of so much more. And this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. So that's what you've got to do here. You've got to decrease these fear feelings and increase the feelings of, I can do this. And anyone that's in the way of that, I wouldn't listen to them if I were you, unless there's some genuine concern and you've got someone who really does care for you. That's the exception. Okay, so that's all I want to say really in that card. Okay, so the first card you have your present is the Eight of Cups, right? Okay, so just looking down at all these cards here in this line here in the middle, there's a really, really obvious sequence here. The biggest thing I'm getting here is someone's really, really, really missing someone. I think it's you. I think someone really, really misses you. I'm really getting that. It feels a bit silent. It's like, oh, I don't think I should say anything. So someone's missing you. It feels like they're away from you in some form. I don't know how. And they feel as if maybe they shouldn't say anything. They shouldn't come forward. I have to say this before I say any more. It's definitely not the sex in the Five of Swords, because that was a very, very manipulative, very insensitive person. And if you look at these cards, they're coming up as the Ace of Cups and the Queen of Cups. Super sensitive, excuse me, very emotional, very caring, very loving. The complete opposite of that. You can see they're right next to each other. They're the complete opposite. So it's definitely not them. This is someone completely different. And again, they're staying silent. They're silent. They're not saying anything. Because what's standing out to me on the Ace of Cups is this dove, peace, keeping quiet. Yeah, keeping the peace. Okay, so when I say keeping the peace, there might be something they're not all that happy about with you. There might be something that they think you've done that they're not happy with. Because, I'm thinking keeping the peace, and it makes me think of peacekeeping, which is all about, preventing wars from happening. So it might be that they've got some kind of unhappy thing. They're not happy with you for some reason. They're holding back to keep the peace. They don't want to start an argument. So there's lots of mixed things. We've got love here. We've got a little bit of I'm not very happy with them, which you can see that on the Ace of Cups. You can see, sorry, the Eight of Cups. You can see the moon's face. Excuse me. You can see the moon's face. He's not very happy. It's like, oh, I'm really angry with them. I'm actually disgusted. I'm not happy with that person. So there's love, there's anger, there's hurt, and there's this holding all that back. Lots and lots of mixed feelings. So I'll talk about all of these cards together. I may as well. They're all going together. So again, with the Eight of Cups, someone's moved away. It doesn't have to be physically walking away. I know that's what he's doing, but it can be emotionally walking away. It can be both. It can be emotionally and physically. It can be all sorts of things, but it's some kind of distancing. Now, again, you've got all these really, 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 really emotional cards here. So it might be, again, an emotional separation. It might be a physical one. It might be everything again. And there's this really heavy atmosphere, which is what's in the Ace of... I keep on saying the Ace of Cups because I've got the Ace of Cups under the Eight of Cups. So I keep on saying Ace of Cups instead of Eight of Cups. So with the Eight of Cups, it's a really heavy atmosphere, and you can see that there, very dank, very heavy. And so what I think is, it feels like maybe you can feel that heavy energy. You can feel that energy coming from them. They're sending out these kind of waves of energy too, because they're really feeling this very deeply. And, you can probably feel this. And, they're trying to send you love, whether they realize it or not. That's what they're doing. They're sending you love by their energy. And yeah, they're thinking about you all the time. Whoever this is, they're just thinking about you constantly, all the time. They can't stop thinking about you. You're on their mind all the time. And again, part of it's love, part of it's these deep feelings. There's also a bit of anger, unhappiness, hurt. There's disapproval with what I'm seeing on this moon. So lots and lots of mixed feelings, all going around, swirling around and around in their head. And they're watching you, which is what's happening in the Eight of Cups. Someone's watching this person walking away through the cups. So yeah, lots and lots of mixed things. And maybe they feel as if they deserve an apology from you for some reason, because they're not happy with you. They're not coming forward. Maybe they think that you should come forward first and say something first. The other thing I'm getting here is it feels like it's either a long-term relationship, or you've known each other for a while, for a long time. You've both been a really big influence on each other. I'm seeing that here as well, because I'm just looking at these pebbles on the Queen of Cups, and I'll lift it up so you can see. There are all these pebbles right at the bottom. And, pebbles are smooth and round, very beautiful because of the water. They have, there's water flowing over them for years and years and years. Sometimes it takes decades to smooth out a pebble. So you've both influenced each other, and you know each other on a really, really deep level because of all the water that's flown over you, all the emotion over years probably, or a long, long time. And that's probably why you can really feel this energy coming from them. And so, yeah, right now, no one's saying anything. We can see that. You're not saying anything. They're not saying anything. But there's this really, really intense energy. And if there's really intense energy like this, it has to crack. It has to break at some time. The silence is going to be broken. It's absolutely going to be broken at some time. It's just too intense. There has to be a release. It's just too much. So it is going to be broken. Someone is going to break this silence. Something's going to be said. I can see that really, really clearly here. Okay, so the first card you have for your future is the Nine of Swords. Horrible, horrible card. And yeah, it's really following on from this. This is how they're feeling at times. So it's full spectrum of emotions that they're feeling. It's like they're angry at times, but they're holding back. But they have this overwhelming love for you. And then here we've got, I'm upset, I can't sleep at night, all that kind of thing. Very, very intense. Again on this card, what this tells me sometimes is you've known each other for a long time. That's on this card as well. And again, you're feeling this coming from them. You really do feel them. You pick up on them, and they do you as well. Excuse me. So, Yeah, but what's deep down under all these mixtures of emotion, all different things, is love. They absolutely love you. And because in the middle of this whole spread is the Ace of Cups, the love card, the deep emotion card, and it's right in the middle. So it's right at the center. That's the center point. So they love you. That's at the depth of everything else. So I don't know if that makes sense. That's at the depth of everything else. What I mean is deep down there's love. So coming from them. Okay, this is what I'm getting. There might be some contact coming from them to you at night time, maybe in 2 weeks' time or around that time. I never used to say times and dates, but I'm sticking my neck out a bit more now. So I think what's going to happen is, excuse me, you'll wake up and you'll see a message. That's what's going to happen. One morning, in 2 weeks' time or around that time, you'll wake up and you'll be like, oh, okay, here's a message. Now what do I do? And that's going to open all these emotions for you. And, you know, it's kind of like, yeah, this is what I'm getting coming from them. It's like, oh, I can't let them see this side of me. I can't let them see me like this. I can't let them see me like this poor woman that's on this card. She's upset. She's not herself. You know, she's crying. She's all over the place. They don't want you to see them like that. So that's why they're kind of getting themselves together, probably over this next 2 weeks or however long around that time. They're getting themselves together. They're composing themselves. They're getting their head around a few things as well, because they're disappointed in you for some reason. I don't know why that is. So they're kind of going to come to terms with that as well. They're going to get their head around that, I think. Whether that's justified or not, they might have a reason for being angry with you. They might not, but that's how they're feeling. They're going to get their head around all that. And they're going to try and resolve that up to a certain point before they come forward. It's like, oh, I just want to feel a bit more composed. You know, I don't want to say something I'm going to regret. There's all that kind of thing. So it's like, I'm going to be calmer. I'm going to say this in a very composed way. So I have to wait until I'm ready for that. So that's kind of what I'm getting now. So you're going to wake up in the morning, going to see this very composed message or whatever this is. And, you know, you can see that in the King of Wands as well. He wants to move forward. He's kind of on the edge of his seat and he's kind of waiting. He's thinking, I want to move forward. I'm so passionate. That's how he is. I know that's what I have to do, but I have to sit here first. I have to think this through first. I have to make sure I'm doing the right thing first. So I'm seeing that again in that card. So yeah, the message is going to come. It's going to come. It's going to come from them. So I'm seeing that really clearly now. Probably over the next 2 weeks or around that time, and you'll probably wake up with a message. It may not happen like that, but that's kind of what I'm seeing here. So watch out for that. Okay, so the last card you have for your future is the Empress. Absolutely beautiful card. Again, sit tight, relax. There is a message that's going to come in, so that's the message there. She's super relaxed. You look at this Empress, she's just sitting there. And just go back to this thing you're moving forwards in. I keep on saying job, career, so it probably is that little bit of fear, that little bit of tension. So there's that fear you've got. Again, relax in that. Relax, don't worry. You know, fear's normal. That's what this card's telling you. Try and relax as much as you can. Know that you're doing the right thing. I can feel that you're doing the right thing. That's the message here again. And it feels like, you know, maybe when you first start this, especially if this is a new job, money might not be exactly what you thought it was to start with. You might have been expecting a lot more than what's going to happen at the start. So, you know, maybe, you know, it might be that you have to train in something. You might be on some kind of probation or something like that. Or, you know, if it's your own business, that can be, you know, businesses take a long time to get off the ground. So it might be that if you're starting a business, you know, the money's low to start with, and that's quite normal. So, you know, and there aren't any pentacles in this whole reading anywhere here, no coins here. And sometimes that can mean not having a lot of money around you or feeling like that. But what this is telling you is it's going to grow. Your money's going to grow. It might not look like that at the start. You know, it might look the opposite at the start, but it is absolutely going to grow. Because if you look at this card, I'll just hold that up as well so you can see.